I'm just like, sir. Sir. Why do I feel like I'm reading a telenovela?
We are monsters. We give and we take. We get.
Hello, friends. There's a baby on my lap, so I'm gonna make this short. This is a new and this is an anticipated reads fan row vlog where I read 2 to 3 books that have come out within the last year or last 6 months, honestly, that are fantasy romances that I've wanted to read. And I had a great time with one and a not so great time with another. Honestly, there's a rant in this vlog, so get ready for that. Other than that, please like and subscribe to this channel. My name's Rainy. I read all the things. And with that, here's the vlog. Hello, friends. I'm updating a little later than I wanted to for this book, only because, like, I didn't think I was going to include it in this vlog, but then I was like, you know what? It's still considered a new release because it came out in, I think, November of last year. Maybe I'm wrong. Actually, September. I don't know. It came out at the end of last year, and it is considered a fantasy romance because it's a Peter Pan retelling, right? So let's talk about Never by Jessa Hastings, which I'm currently on page 100, and I have this much left. And I wish I had better news to share for this, but alas, I don't. If you don't know, this book is a Peter Pan retelling. This clip is about not Wendy, but Wendy's daughter, Daphne Darling. Daphne Darling. And basically, she, you know, all the darling women get taken to Neverland by Peter Pan when they're like 12 or 13. And she's 17, 1 month away from being 18, and he still hasn't come for her. And he finally comes and takes her. And so it's their story, but it's actually her romance, her love triangle between her, Peter Pan, and Jameson Hook, which is Captain Hook's son. This is supposed to be based off of the actual J.M. Barrie rendition of Peter Pan, not the cartoon one, because apparently the, like, real one is, like, more dark, and, like, Peter Pan's not a kind guy, and, like, all this stuff. I didn't know that going into this, but, I mean, it makes sense. This kind of reads like a dark bully romance, honestly, and I'm not a bully romance girl, so that's one thing that was deterring me. However, read the first chapter, was enjoying myself. Kept going, and, there are just a lot of issues with this. The first issue is that I'm bored out of my mind. I don't care about any of these characters. I freaking hate Peter Pan. I don't think I've ever hated a main male character more than I hate Peter Pan. He is just a jerk. All he does is string her along. He forgets about her on a daily basis. He is always, like, flirting with mermaids and hooking up with Tiger Lily and doing all of this other shit. And then he'll be, like, really possessive, though, and be like, oh, you're mine. You can't be with anyone else. No one can even look at you, but I'm not going to even look at you. I'm just going to ignore you. But when I want you, you better be there at my beck and call. And I'm not like that. And then Jameson has not been problematic yet, but the thing with him is the way he talks. It's like she was trying to do pirate talk and, like, a Scottish accent at the same time, but, like, some of the things that he says, I don't know what he's saying. Like, the words are just weird. I don't know if they're made up. I don't know if they're an actual language. I don't understand half of what he says, and it's really, really stopping and deterring my enjoyment of the book. Like, I'm struggling. Like, I need to find a page. Oh, like, what does this mean? Just good to Ken. T''Ken. Just good to Ken. What does that mean? And then let me see another one that's, like, really, really bad. I'm like, come on. Like, he says some things and I'm like, what are you saying? You, Danae, have any nicknames? Like, I know what that means. You don't, right? But it's just like things like that. I'm just like, why are you saying it like that? I don't. Then just feckin' stay away from the square. You can. I can't make this up. Okay? So I'm struggling with that. I'm also struggling because there's some problematic things in this book, and I understand that she was trying to stick with, like, the folklore of it all. The wording and the way she said things, there was one thing in here, and I kid you not, this is how she wrote it, and I still can't believe that it was written like that, but it does say that. Let me find it. His skin is so tan that he looks dirty. And I went, no one thought that was, like, a bad way to say that, like, he's actually just dirty. Because the next thing she says, I tilt my head because maybe that's literally just dirt. His feet are definitely dirty. But that insinuates something else from the way that wording was. And apparently she has changed it since, but I don't actually believe that because I just looked at a copy that was available in Target today and it still said that. So, I don't know. But I do know that she changed it to this one. There are these fairies that overnight are basically like slaves and they clean your house for you and you're supposed to, like, give them porridge or something as a thank you, and Peter hasn't been doing that. So this slave fairy has just been doing it for free, but of course Daphne decides to actually feed the fairy. But apparently, in this one they were called hobs. In the first edition, they were called brownies.
I think you would change the name of that. You'd think. And she has changed it since then because she got so much slack. Like literally the first day this released, it was already like a 3-star, almost 2-star because like people were offended, felt some type of way. So anyway, as far as where I'm at right now, I'm just pissed at this girl. Wendy is stupid. She's a stupid character in this book, okay? She's like very much like know-it-all, like wants to like, you know, be like, show everyone that she knows it all, but she's also just whiny and annoying and makes terrible choices. Like Peter Pan was literally just a jerk to her, and then he comes up to her and basically like just charms her over, and so she decides to like have a make-out session with him after he was just a complete dick to her. And I'm just like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this, Wendy? Nobody cares, okay? So I'm annoyed. I am going to finish this book because I want to know if Miss Hastings can redeem herself. But I just can't even fathom that the woman that wrote Magnolia Parks wrote this. The woman that created a Magnolia Parks universe created this garbage. Are they going to even make a book 2 to this? Is there a book 2 to this? Or is she going to do a new fantasy romance like retelling everyone? I don't know. But, not it, fam. Not it. So, that's the first book that I'm reading for this vlog. And then I got some book mail because, you know, one does do that. And from Novel Grounds, their book box, they do special editions once a month, but you can buy them even if you're not part of the membership because they do pre-orders. And so I got Amo Jones' The Silver Swan, which I've always been wanting to read an Amo Jones, and I saw this cover and thought it was beautiful. And it also came with like, what do you call these? Like a signature note picture thingamajigger. Anyway, very, very pretty, and I love how it matches and everything. Absolutely love this. Beautiful. And then from Amazon, I bought Madame because I had a reminder in my phone to remind me to buy this before March 31st because then it goes out of print. And so I officially have all of the books in the Salacious Players Club series. I don't have to worry about that anymore. And then I also bought Throttled by Lauren Asher because this went away. You can't buy the indie version anymore on Amazon as of the 15th. So I bought it so that I have it. And I have dates in my phone for all the other ones so that I can make sure to collect this. This is an F1 romance series. I absolutely loved her Dreamland Billionaire series. So I'm hoping to prioritize this sooner than later. And then, I don't know if I shared this already, but I bought, which Eloise apparently got dirt all over this on the floor, so I'm kind of frustrated, but whatever, it's fine. I'm never selling this. I got When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I cannot wait to read this book. It's about dragons, and that's honestly all I really need to know about it. So I'm excited to get to that soon. And then I got Iron Widow and The God of Endings for free because I sold a bunch of books at Second and Charles and I had like $50 store credit. So I got this and then this. And so I've been excited to read both these. This is like a vampire-y, I think, dark academia, which is exciting. And then this one apparently has aliens, which I didn't know. So, you know, we're gonna read about some Chinese butt-kicking aliens and some dark academia vampires. So that is that. I am going to go hang out with my family right now. The Taylor Swift Eras tour released yesterday, so maybe I'll watch some of that. And then I need to get to reading. I need to read a lot more of Never so I can update for you because it's stressing me out a bit. Okay, ignore the face. I am annoyed. Peter's annoying. How many times do you have to say crappy comments about women? And like, we get the point. So Jessa, why are you still doing it? Like right here, he says, what is it okay if I just put one hand on you here and the other behind my head? And she's like, you don't have to hold me the same way every time, Peter. And he says, oh, I know. I was just making sure you knew that because I want my hand behind here. But I didn't want you to be a girl about it. And then in another one, sorry, that's Eloise in the background. He says, let me see. I was in a stroller and she was talking away to some lady. You know how girls just love to talk. This man is insufferable. And that's page 105. I was just here. I can't with this woman. She is insufferable as well. This is page 110. And Peter Pan has been an absolute jerk with her and all this stuff. And then he literally says, I don't know, sometimes when I think about you, the sky turns pink. And she says, really? And then in her head, and all the things I was worried about just a minute ago topple straight out of my head. Girl, you in such an abusive relationship. How can you stand this man? Peter Pan's on in the background. One more time. Page 112. Gorgeous spread, Hob. Thank you. You don't have to thank him. But isn't it nice to? He has to. He's a slave. No. You're just going to get updates every page. Page 122. Oh, yeah. She says, what's the name of your ship? And he says, The Golden Folly. And she says, and what is yours? And he says, My Golden Folly. I'll tell you, November 2nd. That's the day after she turns 18. That's gross. Then, that's not the only thing.
I know she goes to love it and never.
She's talking about the fairy, the one that's supposed to be a slave that like cleans your house and stuff overnight. And she says, is that a hob? And he says, shh, you cannot say that. Why? It's derogatory. Oh, that's what Peter calls ours. Well, of course it is. They prefer brownies. Jessica has come out with a statement saying that was too derogatory to put in this book. However, I still can't fathom that. Like, I get the folklore behind it, but like, maybe don't use it. This book is rubbing me all types of wrong ways. Hello? It's me. Back again. Page 142. They're literally talking about the lore of fairies. And it starts saying, yeah, well then that and the humans started to grape the women fairies to try to make halflings. Why are you talking about this in this book? Have I convinced you to read this book? Have I convinced you to pick it up yet? Lincoln, should people read this book?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's good. Because I like Peter Pan.
You don't even know. You don't even know. Me. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. No, it's you. We're on page 144 still. And Peter's literally like, Daphne, he's kissing a mermaid, and she gets all upset at him, and he goes, you're not the only girl I play with. Did you think you were? He asks me, smiling like he's confused. I hate this man. And then, over there, when she gets upset, he says, why do you look stupid and sad? And she says, because I am. I can't. He is abusive and toxic as hell. Why are we standing this man? Why are we giving him any of our attention? Hello, back again. New day, new me. Page 170. I can't. We've met Jameson's mom, who's apparently like one of the founders of the land or something. And Daphne's asking her all of these questions. And she literally turns over to Jameson, gives him a long-suffering look and says, how do you stomach her incessant questioning? And he looks down at her for a few seconds and then he says, her face. Why is everyone in this book insufferable? Why? Why, Eloise? Why? I'm having a time with this book. I'm in my hallway because I'm like following Eloise around as she's starting to almost walk. And I just got to chapter 11, page 189, halfway through this godforsaken book. And let me just say, Jameson Hook, because it's not Captain Hook, it's his son, is a jerk. So Peter is just like an idiot, a boy child. Jameson says literal, purposeful shit to make her feel bad about herself. Like, he gets mad that Peter comes up and says, like, she's mine and kisses her. And so he decides to, like, go on a rager, a bender for alcohol, and is, like, sexing up all these women. And she catches him and walks into the club and says, why are you doing this? And he starts saying stuff like, you're not smart. I don't want you. I'm gonna F this girl because you mean nothing to me. And he's just treating her like garbage. And then she cries, runs away, goes over to Peter, and she's bad with Peter. I can't. Why do I feel like I'm reading a telenovela? Don't think you're getting rid of me too easily. Also, there's music in the background. You're just going to have to deal with it. I'm on page 201 now, and I can't. So they have this part of the island, like the baggage island, part of the island where you can drop off basically your baggage in like all these different bags so you don't have to think about things. And they're visiting this like place of giant creatures with Peter and Daphne, and Peter basically wants to have sex with her. And she's like, no, I don't want to, obviously because of Jameson and also because she's never had sex. And he just keeps egging her until finally like they leave and he's all mad. And it literally says, en route, he stops at baggage again, drops something off, and then I go in again after him and drop off the parts of the day I shouldn't like to remember. He made them stop at baggage so he could forget that she wouldn't sleep with him because he's so mad at her. I've never wanted to throw a book more than this book. Every page I read, I can't believe that my queen wrote this garbage. It's like a train wreck. It's like a dumpster fire. I can't look away, y'all. I can't look away. Which, can we also take a minute and talk about the fact that why is her mom and her grandmother like so dead set on her getting taken with Pan, and they keep getting upset every year that he doesn't show when he literally treated them both like shit and they're both heartbroken over him? Why is it okay to be generationally heartbroken by this terrible man? And why are they saying like, oh, it's the Darling family legacy, like it's meant for you, it's fate? Why do you want that to be fate? Why? Weezy, why? Hello, friends. The spring break journey is over, hence why I'm in my classroom, and you're getting an update from me in my classroom on Never, because I'm reading this on my break. I actually just finished right before this A Darker Shade of Magic, which was a buddy read with Katie and Danny, and I had about 30 pages left of this, so I wish I had vlogged this, because I had the best time with this book, but that's not what we're here for, right? We're here for the unhinged story of Never. And let's just talk about what just happened on pages 238, okay? So she goes with Peter on like a date somewhere, and all of a sudden she like blacks out, wakes up, and she's tied like limb to limb because he had drugged her so that he could have a little bit of fun playing make-believe, and has a minotaur charging towards her. And his whole thing is, oh, she's gonna be a damsel in distress and I'm gonna save her, except for he's not doing very good, and the minotaur actually hurts her. And literally, this was the part that killed me. What does it say? Oh yeah, she says, what did you give me? And he says, well, I didn't want you to say no and me to get angry at you, so I just gave you some soma berries. And then she says, Peter, say no to what? And he goes, those sneaks were trying to give my surprise away because they think they're the only ones who can do surprises because they're in the sky, but they didn't realize that you were stupid. Why do we condone this man? Why? Why is he not canceled? I don't care if you're trying to be dark like the original Peter Pan. That's my thoughts. I just can't believe I'm reading this book. They're literally saying, it wasn't stupid. You're stupid. No, you're stupid. You're all stupid. That is the answer in this freaking book. And Peter is getting all mad that she spent her birthday with Captain Hook because he completely ignored her and forgot all about her. And he's just annoying. He's literally being like, you're disgusting. I can smell him on you. Get away from me. I'm like, how old are we? Are we 3? Like, oh, this is just so cringe. All right, on page 259. And literally, she's trying to get Hook to say that Peter is an idiot like he always is for like being awful to her on his birthday. She's trying to get him mad because Peter slept with someone on her birthday. And he goes, oh, come on. You know I think he's an effing twat of a boy, but you can scarcely blame him for that. And she's like, can I not? And he shrugs big and says, she is gorgeous. I'd probably have a crack if I could. Zelda! Why? I don't want him to choose any of these men. Can we talk about the fact that this entire book has no plot and it's literally, she wants to be with Peter, he's a jerk, she runs over to Jameson. She wants to be with Jameson, he's a jerk, she runs back to Peter. There is no plot. But can we also talk about the fact that Peter is like, do you know what a ball is? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, do you know what a date is? And she's like, yeah. And then he's like, it's right now, go get dressed. And he says, be quick about it, you're looking a bit heavy. And then she says, my mouth falls open at his rudeness. And he was just meaning like heavy as in like baggage, but I'm just like, sir. Sir. I have great news and terrible news. So let's start with the great news. A Tempest of Tea came in, my Fairy Loot edition, and it's freaking stunning. I mean, like, they always knock it out of the park, but like, I can't. Okay? I'm so beyond excited to read this. Maybe I will read this for this vlog because I am doing anticipated fantasy reads. It depends on if I can get the audiobook or not, but I'm very excited to get to this soon. However, let's get to the bad part, okay? We all knew this was coming. It's a 1 star. Would not recommend. I have to compartmentalize Magnolia Parks from Never because my queen would never write something like this. And towards the end, I kind of just stopped updating with y'all because there was like 3 or 4 things I remember that just really irked me. And honestly, I wouldn't even say that these are spoilers for this book because I don't feel like this book can be spoiled with what plot it does not have, okay? It doesn't have a plot. Literally, the entire time, she's going back and forth between Peter and Hook, and Peter and Hook, and Peter and Hook. And like, this is not a plot, okay? This is not a plot make. So anyway, if you don't want to hear this part, I will put like a mild spoilery section, but I don't think it's that big of a plot thing, okay? Well, before I say, actually, let's just start into spoilers, okay? Regardless of whether this is spoilers or not. Like, there's one part where she goes up into Peter Pan's nest, and like, he is basically effing a mermaid, or a girl, like, that is friends with the mermaids, and they're both completely naked, and he goes, I found out what sex is finally, and she's just like, how dare you, and she gets really mad at him, and he gets mad at her, so he banishes her, and so of course he banishes her, and she goes to, like, Captain Hook, and then sleeps with Captain Hook, even though he's been treating her like shit, and sleeps with different women, like, every day. Don't understand that thought process there. And so she sleeps with them. And then soon after she sleeps with them, she's like going with him somewhere. And she walks around the corner and she hears him talking to his best mates. And he basically says, like, I was only obsessed with her because I wanted to sleep with her. She was a terrible sex partner and she's annoying. And I can't stand her. And like, I'm going to break her heart. So then she like finds that out, runs away, ends up getting kidnapped by Captain Hook's uncle, I think, who is like notorious bad boy pirate. And he's about to kill her. And Peter Pan comes in, saves the day. And then Hook comes in, also saves her. And it's like, I don't understand why you left me. And she basically tells him why she's upset. And he says, wow, I should have just let my uncle basically like grape and hurt you. And I'm like, are you joking? Like, and that's just how it ends. Like, it ends with, like, her being so upset by Hook that he said that and that he never cared about her. And she goes to the place where you can, like, get rid of your baggage and drops off every last remaining thought that she has of him. And then runs away with Peter, who finally said he loved her and that he won't be with any other women. And they're just laying together. And she says, I love you. And that's the end. No. Okay? No. 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 Nope on a rope. Nope. Nope in a box. Not in a fox. Not with a sock. Not with a mox. No. I'm so mad. Oh, this book angered me. Every character sucked. Every character eats rocks. The only good thing about this book is this map. And I bought this book twice, y'all. I bought this book twice because I pre-ordered it on Amazon and thought I had ordered hardcover. No, little did I know, I ordered paperback. So then, I actually wanted the hardcover because of, the map. So then I bought this off Pingo for $10 and sold my copy to Second and Charles, which I got money for that. So, like, it's not that big of a deal. But I bought this book twice, and you're going to do me dirty like this. Anyway, I'm very upset. We're going to change gears. We're going to move over to Spark of the Everflame because I'm 25% in that. However, I don't have the capacity in me tonight to update that. So I will update you tomorrow with my first thoughts on Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole, which I will just say up front, I'm having a much better time with this book. And then I need to decide what I'm reading next. I want to read A Tempest of Tea, but I also want to start When the Moon Hatched. But I also want to start A Fate Inked in Blood, which I'm probably going to do that because I am supposed to be doing that for a buddy read. I wanted to start Slaying the Shadow Prince, but for some reason, I bought that on Amazon, and it's back-ordered until, like, March 21st. Who knows what the hell's wrong with that crap? I don't know, but that's what I'm going to do for now. You know what time it is. Conversations with Rainy on the road. Shh. All right, so sorry if you hear the air blasting. It's like 39 degrees out. I'm driving to work with my kids. I'll turn it down slightly for this update, and then I'll put it back on. But anyway, I am here to tell you that I started reading A Spark of the Everflame, which you haven't seen me read yet, because I was overtaken by A Fate Inked in Blood, because I also wanted to read that, and I just couldn't hold off any longer. Something about Spark of the Everflame wasn't keeping my attention. It's not even that I don't like it. Maybe I just didn't get far enough into it to be invested. But A Fate Inked in Blood was just calling to me. Everyone's reading it. Katie's doing a Storygraph challenge for March. I wanted to make sure that I joined, so I started. And I'm only 50 pages in, and I'm obsessed. I love the writing. I love the world. I love the story. I love everything. So we have Freya, who is a shield maiden. I'm not entirely sure on what that means to be a shield maiden just yet, but it's a secret that she's been hiding her entire life because her dad told her to hide it, and her dad just died. And she's married to, like, this terrible fisherman guy who's, like, awful. She hates him so very much, like, and she's been with him for a year. And she's stuck in a marriage that she doesn't want to be in. And at the very beginning, she has to end up battling the king's son, like, the king of the gods. So, like, there's gods in this realm. The king of the gods' son to, like, a battle of the death, like, for no reason. And she ends up revealing that she's a shield maiden in order to not die. And when they realize that, they say, oh, there's a prophecy that a shield maiden was going to save our kingdom from destruction, and so in order to do that, you have to marry the king, and then my son is going to be the one to, like, train you, raise you up, and, like, take care of you and help you fulfill your prophecy. And that's the only way that I won't kill you right now. And so she gets unbroken from her marriage with her fisherman guy to get ready to go get married to the king, who is, like, way older than her. But anyway, that's where I just left off on, and, like, I don't feel like any of that is that big of a spoiler because it's, like, less than 50 pages in. But I'm having a fabulous time with this book. Like I said, I like the way that it's written. I like the main character. I'm just liking everything about it. So I'm very eager to continue on and see what is in store. But other than that, I'm headed to school with my kiddos, so I will check back in with you at a later date. I'm sitting outside the parking lot for our Barnes & Noble that opened today. So here we go. Hello, friends. I am now 48% of the way through A Fate Inked in Blood, so I'm on page 210, and I still have this much left. And it has slowed down a bit for me. I'm not saying that it's bad per se, but, like, the very beginning, like, I was obsessed. I was hooked for, like, the first 100 pages, like, thought it was going to be an ultimate 5-star, maybe even a favorite of all time. Like, I was obsessed. And then the last, like, 50 or 60 pages have been kind of slow, but I don't hate it. I will say, the banter is bantering. Some of the stuff that is being said between Freya and Bjorn, I'm just, like, kicking my feet, laughing, giggling, thinking it's so cute. Okay? However, I don't know what it is about this part that's like just slowing down, like bogging for me. Like, I mean, obviously, like they're trying to get to the top of this mountain to like make a sacrifice to the gods for Freya for her powers, but like all these people keep trying to kill her because she's the shield maiden, and like they don't want to have her being controlled by some king that nobody likes. So like they're all trying to kill her. So there's been a lot of like battle scenes and like other stuff, but I wouldn't say that that's making it bad. I just don't know. I feel like I was vibing, I was digging it, and then it kind of just went slow. So I'm hoping it picks the pace back up in the second half of this book. But I'm still really, really liking this. Like, I'm having a great time with this. Like, I'm loving the Viking lore and like the mythology and all of that. So I am having a great time with this. I do understand why they say that her books are a lot more political than romance filled. And so I think Brittany would actually really like this, because Brittany is not a romantic girly, but like I feel like this would be one that she would enjoy. But anyway, I'm going to hopefully get to finishing this today, because I have to finish The Spark of the Everflame 2 by tomorrow at 8, because tomorrow is when Peace Talks start, and I'm reading like the whole Wayward series for Realmathon, and so I really would like this vlog to be done by then, so I kind of need to pick up the pace. So we'll see. Hello, friends. Okay, so it's after school, and I figured I should update on A Fate Ink and Blood before I go home. Hopefully nobody walks into my classroom. I never know if people are going to come in my classroom at the end of the day, because I share a classroom with a couple of other teachers. But I finished A Fate Ink and Blood about 2 hours ago during my planning period. 5 stars. 5 freaking stars. I will say, the first part, I was so engaged. The second part, it really slowed back down, and I wasn't quite sure where it was going to go. I was feeling 3.5 or 4 last night. And then it just ramped back up, and I felt the same love that I had for the first part. Okay? And yeah, technically maybe you should say, oh, well, if there was a slow part, like you should do a 4.5. No, okay? This book almost made me cry, which that in itself is like a rare event for me. Almost made me cry. It was so intense. I love Bjorn so much. I love this man. I love the things that he says. There's one thing that he says that I should have written down. It's a love quote, and I wish I could find it. And it was beautiful, and I just read it, and I was like, that is what every man should say. That is what every man should do, okay? He follows Freya to the ends of the freaking earth, okay? Anyway, this book, I loved it, and there were some twists I was not expecting, like that very last twist. Like, if you know, you know. There were just some things that went down. This book got very intense for like the last 50 pages, and I don't know how you leave us on a cliffhanger like this. Like, I need the next book, and there is no end date in sight, and I'm very, very saddened by that. But I'm pleasantly surprised in how much I love this. This makes me want to pick up A Bridge Kingdom ASAP, the Bridge Kingdom, because I own the first 3 books, and I've always been like scared to do it because like I've heard she's more political fantasy, and yes, this is very political fantasy dense. So if you're not into like war and all of those things, this might not be the book for you, because the romance does take a seat to that. Like, there was romance, but not nearly as much as like I normally like in a book. However, it was just so interesting, and I loved the northern like Viking like culture, like all the stuff. It just sucked me in from the beginning. I had the best time with this book. I'm so glad that I read this book for this vlog. I am just so very, very happy. And then I can knock off an anticipated read that came out in February that I already read in March. So like, look at me go. And it's probably going to be a favorite of the year, if we're being honest, because I had a fabulous time with this book. So now my plan is to see how much I can read of A Spark of the Everflame before Peace Talks starts tonight for Realmathon. And then I will either end this vlog right before Peace Talks, or depending how Peace Talks go, fit Spark of the Everflame into Peace Talks, but film for this one. And so I'll be filming 2 vlogs at once, which I don't really want to do, but you know, you can't always avoid it. And then you will see one of these vlogs come out on Sunday. Is it the Peace Talks vlog? Is it my fanro vlog? I don't know. You will know based off the day you're seeing this vlog, which one came out first. But that's all I'm going to say on this for now. Okay, if you hear children running outside, they're like playing even though it's like cold out. I don't understand children before school starts, but I wanted to say I'm 25% into Spark of the Everflame, which is for Tori's Who Did This To You book club. Apparently it's also the Indie Archive book club selection for May for Cassidy and Mel, and so like I'm knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. But I am liking this. I'm just not exactly 100% sure what all is happening yet. I feel like this is like a little dense, but it's not like too crazy, but I'm still liking it. So what I think I understand is that there's like these god-like people called the Descended, and they're like higher than everybody else, and like you have to have like powers to be a Descended, I'm pretty sure. And then there's Diem, who her family, her mom and her are healers, and her mom is a healer for the royal families, like Descended, I think. And Diem is allowed to help heal people, except for descended, because apparently in order to heal descended people, like, you have to have like higher abilities or things like that. Well, anyway, apparently her mom disappears after interacting with some descended person, and so DM is just wondering what happened to her mom, and so it takes place mostly 6 months after her mom disappeared. And then but DM is finding out stuff about her past because her dad is not actually her dad, and so like she might be a descended, she might not be, and there's just a lot going on. But she also is going to have to interact with the king's heir and help him because of all this stuff that's going on. Honestly, that is a terrible explanation. That's really a terrible explanation. Like, I hear me explaining it and it's a bad explanation, but I don't have anything else to give you right now. So that's all I've got so far. I'm on page 96. I have this much left, but I am really liking it. But when I feel like I can make more cohesive thoughts on this book, I will let you know. And then other than that, I just went to the uniform sale they had at my school. I work at a private school, and so Lincoln next year is going to be in kindergarten. Can't believe that. And so he actually needed a uniform because in preschool they don't make them wear uniforms, and so they were having a lightly used uniform sale where all the outfits pieces are like $5 instead of like 30 to 40 on the website. So I snatched some up. They're a little too big for him because I didn't have his exact size, but you know what? You got to go with what's available. Okay. So I'm going to get ready for my classes because I teach very soon. I'm going to continue on with this during my lunch break, and hopefully I will have a more eloquent update for you very soon.
Coming at you with an update, same one as when I started. I did not finish Spark of the Everflame, and I decided to cut this vlog short before Peace Talk started because I knew I wasn't going to be able to finish it before I had to read all the Wayward Children's books. So this is as far as I got. I will let you know at the end of the month what I thought of Spark of the Everflame because I am going to finish reading it, so it'll be in my March wrap-up. But to sum it all up, hate it never, terrible book. Probably on my worst books of the year, and found a book that's probably going to be on my favorites of the year. So like, this was a very high and low reading vlog. If you got to the end of this, let's put a star emoji for Never, or a sword emoji for Captain Hook, or a crocodile, or whatever you want to do, some Peter Pan emoji, and let me know in the comments down below if you plan on reading Never, or if you've read A Fade in Blood, or if there's another fantasy romance that you would like to see me film, because I want to film a bunch more fantasy romance books. So let me know a book that you'd like to see in a future vlog, and with that, I'll see you in a vlog super soon. Bye.